The 2018 Inter-Secondary School Debate Series continues here on ABS Television. Welcome to this third encounter brought to you by the Ministry of Education, Science and Technology in association with SugarPay. Thank you to our studio and television audiences for joining us for this matchup between Glanville's Secondary and Antigua Girls High School. This evening, both teams will debate a very interesting topic. The moot chosen, skin bleaching by primary and secondary school students should be prohibited. Let me at this point allow the team members to introduce themselves. We will begin with the proposition Team Antigua Girls High School.
Good evening, my name is Francesca Etinoff and I'm the first speaker.
Good evening, my name is Lashika Hodge and I am the second speaker.
Good evening, my name is Deborah Bryan and I'm the first speaker. Stand by.
Good evening, my name is Peter Gay Chamberlain and I'm the second speaker. Stand by.
Now the opposing team, Team Glanville's Secondary School.
Good evening, my name is Danique DePredes and I'm the first speaker.
Good evening, my name is Alicia Armstrong and I'm the second speaker.
Good evening, my name is Diana Brathwaite and I'm the first speaker. Stand by.
Good evening, my name is Tanisha Rogers and I'm the second speaker. Stand by.
There is a panel of judges in place who will select the team that will advance in the 2018 series. Permit me to introduce Mr. George Imhoff, Principal, St. John's Catholic Primary School. Mr. Sylvanus Barnes, Production Assistant, Education Broadcasting Unit, and Mr. Ursel Charles Jr., Hospitality Educator. This evening's timekeeper is Margareta Harris. By now, debaters may be familiar with the rules of the competition. However, allow me to remind you of what they are. Any judge can award a maximum 40 points for content, 30 points for delivery, 20 points for rebuttal, and teamwork 10 points for an overall total of 100 points. The proposition's first speaker, Francesca Etinoff, will begin the debate, followed by Danique DeFreitas of Glanville Secondary School. We will then move on to the second speakers from each team. First speakers will be given 5 minutes for their presentations, and second speakers 3 minutes. Following the presentations, we will move on to rebuttals. In that segment, 3 minutes will be given to each debater. Those are the rules. We will take a break. When we come back, the first speaker from the proposition will take the podium. Stay with us.
The sweetest way to pay is with SugarPay. SugarPay, SugarPay. At the end of the day, SugarPay, the savings will blow you away. Cause it's the safest way to pay. Use your card and
fill up your tank and take out your friends and shop for your food. Reload it again. Millions on here, clothes for you for wear. No worries, our fear, SugarPay is here.
You can use your card anywhere. With SugarPay, it's accepted everywhere. We have the cheapest rates. You'll feel safe. You can be a merchant in the easiest way. So contact us and sign up today with SugarPay.
Welcome back to the 2018 Inter-Secondary School Debate Series. The moot selected for this third encounter between Antigua Girls High School and Glanville's Secondary School is skin bleaching by primary and secondary school students should be prohibited. Now for the commencement of this encounter. Please welcome the first speaker from the proposition, Francesca Etinoff of Antigua Girls High School.
She woke up to find that her skin had been burnt. There were black, crusty lumps all over her face and arms. She was scarred, and the skin had become so thin from years years of chemical bleaching that she had bandages to cover the open wounds to prevent them from becoming pus infected. Taken from the Jamaica Gleaner, March 2009. Mr. Moderator, honorable judges, worthy opponents, listening and viewing audience, good evening. Today, my colleague and I stand here in firm support of the moot which states skin bleaching by primary and secondary school students should be prohibited. Before I begin, permit me to define the key terms and establish the parameters that will govern this evening's moot. According to Dr. Yatunde Alumide, Professor of Medicine, skin lightening or bleaching is the use of cosmetics to lighten the color of darker skin. The practice, which is fueled by racial prejudice, stems from misconception that darker skin is inferior and that someone with fairer skin is more attractive. For the purpose of this moot, primary and secondary school students are between the ages of 5 and 16. According to the Oxford English Dictionary, prohibit is to formally forbid something by law or other authority. I will, in my speech, discuss the health effects of skin bleaching and the potential dangers it causes to children especially, while my colleague will discuss the social and psychological reasons as to why skin bleaching is so problematic, especially in predominantly black countries. Moderator, the story I recounted in the beginning of my speech was a real-life case of a woman, age 37 in Jamaica, who started bleaching her skin since she was 16. The reason she did it was that she wanted to, and I quote, feel pretty like the high-color skin girl them, end quote. I will not at this time even attempt to explain the deep and painful history of racism and colorism in the Caribbean that could have led her to feel this way. Rather, my intention is to prove to you that skin bleaching has severe health consequences that could put the life of our school children in danger. According to Dr. Maria Pereira, one of the renowned dermatologists in Antigua and Barbuda, skin bleaching products contain steroids that can cause severe acne as well as eye irritation, which can impede the learning ability of our children. Is it worth it just for the enhancement of one's beauty? Think about it. As a proud black woman, it is difficult for me to understand the urge for someone to bleach their skin. But what my opponents may suggest is that even children, small children in primary school, should be able to bleach their skin. Why anyone would want their child or children to bleach or to dilute and remove their gorgeous melanin is beyond me, with the myriad of complications that would arise. This, to me, would be absolutely irresponsible and reckless. This melanin is important, not only because it gives you this gorgeous dark skin tone, but it performs very important functions that, if removed, could have severe health consequences. According to an article published in the American Medical Association Journal of Dermatology in June 2014, Warwick Morrison, a physician explained, and I quote, melanin is produced as a response to the UV radiation in order to prevent damage to the DNA in the integument. Individuals who are exposed to the UV light, such as the sun, will produce more melanin for protection, end quote. When this melanin is removed, it increases the risk for diseases such as skin cancer by increasing the amount of UV rays that is absorbed through the skin. According to the Center of Disease Control and Prevention, people of African descent were among the least susceptible to developing skin cancer because of the presence of melanin in their skin. Black people develop skin cancer at a rate of 6 times less than Caucasians. Beyond just the risk of skin cancer, the health consequences of skin bleaching is overwhelmingly documented in the medical literature. It should be obvious that the application of these industrial products is a pretty bad idea. Most skin bleaching products contain hydroquinone, which is cytotoxic, which means it kills living cells in your body. Moreover, it is also carcinogenic, which means it is cancer-causing. Dr. Angela Clark, an American dermatologist, in a blog post titled, Dangers of Skin Whitening Products, states, and I quote, This product is thought to increase the risk for complications, such as thyroid disorders, liver disease, and adrenal dysfunction. It has been banned for sale as a skin line in Europe, Japan, and Australia, end quote. Moderator, skin bleaching is a terrible epidemic facing countries of predominant African descent. It is rooted in self-hatred and has disastrous health consequences. We remain resolute that skin bleaching should be prohibited by primary and secondary schools. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Francesca. You completed your presentation in a time of 5 minutes, 25 seconds. Now, for the first speaker from the opposition, please welcome Danique de Freitas, Glanville's Secondary School.
Mr. Moderator, esteemed judges, worthy opponents, fellow students, viewing audience, both present and at home, good evening. I stand before you today to argue that skin bleaching by primary and secondary school students should not be prohibited. To set the parameters for this debate, let me start by defining the concept known as skin bleaching. According to Dr. Jose Humphrey, a prominent local internist, skin bleaching is a practice of using substances to alter the pigmentation of the skin, leading to skin lightening. Skin bleaching should not be prohibited among primary and secondary school students because of the following tenets: personal choice, clinically diagnosed skin disorders, social acceptance, the development of high self-esteem, and aesthetics. I will expound on the issues surrounding personal choice, clinically diagnosed skin disorder, and social acceptance, while my colleague will deliberate on the development of high self-esteem and aesthetics. First, let's start with personal choice. The Antigua and Barbuda Constitution, Chapter 2, Protection of Fundamental Rights and Freedoms of the Individual, Section 5, Section 11, and Section 12 guarantee protection of personal liberty, freedom of conscience, and freedom of expression. I'm certain my worthy opponents are not suggesting that we should violate the tenets of the Constitution. Additionally, the Antigua and Barbuda Education Act, the law that governs the functions and operations of the education system, is silent on this matter. In fact, according to Part 1, Division 3, Section 29 of said act, and I quote, "No person who is eligible for admission to a public or private educational institution shall be refused admission on any discriminatory grounds, which include race or color," end quote. Therefore, there can be no prohibition against skin bleaching at any level, primary or secondary. Next, let's look at why skin bleaching is necessary. Oftentimes, when we discuss skin bleaching, it is viewed solely as a useless elective or even a farcical procedure. However, skin bleaching could be necessary as a solution to many medical issues faced by the students at the primary and secondary school level, to include acne scars, discoloration related to hormones, and vitiligo. Again, I am certain that my worthy opponents are not suggesting that they would opt not to have medical treatment of skin bleaching if suffering from an autoimmune disease, or to repair the damage that may have been caused from a severe case of acne, measles, or the chickenpox. This is another reason why skin bleaching is necessary and should be allowed in our primary and secondary schools. Finally, it should be noted that the process of skin bleaching is prevalent in places that have a deep history rooted in slavery and racism. During the period of slavery, the lighter the color of one's skin, the better treatment one received. In an interview with local historian Patty the Griot Simon, he stated, and I quote, "In the late 1940s and early 1950s, there were stores in our own St. John's where if you weren't light-skinned, you couldn't get a job," end quote. As a result of our history, these practices have become ingrained in our social experiences. Our research has also shown that in the Caribbean and Latin America, wealth and social status were determined by skin color. Light-skinned people had the highest social status, This was followed by brown-skinned, who occupied intermediate positions, and finally, black-skinned were at the bottom of the social hierarchy. We live in an age where social acceptance is paramount to a young person's identity. Hence, some primary and secondary school students may choose to bleach their skin to feel accepted within certain social circles. Ladies and gentlemen, we have not moved past these radical stereotypes entrenched in our societies. Therefore, skin bleaching presents a solution for a subsection of our society that may include primary and secondary school students. In conclusion, Mr. Moderator, esteemed judges, worthy opponents, the affirmative team has effectively demonstrated that protecting personal choice supported by the Constitution, addressing medical issues, and addressing the issue of social acceptance are all significant advantages and benefits of skin bleaching. Therefore, we stand resolved that skin bleaching should be allowed in our primary and secondary schools. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Danique De Freitas, Glanville's Secondary School. First speaker, she completed her presentation in a time of 4 minutes, 43 seconds. Now for the second speaker from the proposition, please join me in welcoming Lashika Hodge, Antigua Girls High School.
All previous protocols observed. Now that my colleague has laid out the parameters of this evening's debate, I will solidify our argument by stating the psychological and social effects of skin bleaching. Moderator, it has been no secret that the story of the Caribbean has been rooted in a legacy of racist oppression based on the color of one's skin. Even beyond emancipation, many people continue to suffer from the harsh effects of colorism and prejudice based on skin tone. It is against this backdrop that the desire to bleach one's skin must be understood and debated. Moderator, the hierarchy of skin color, black, brown, dark skin, light skin, has long been a division among African American and Afro-Caribbean communities. According to Baldwin and Mahay's Caribbean History for CSEC, and I quote, a status among non-whites was determined by a combination of complexion, end quote. This ascription of privilege based on the shade of one's skin tone has long been the primary motivating reason why the vast majority of people desire to bleach their skin, not for medical reasons, or whatever false acclaims my opponents may have had you believe. Plain and simple, it is a desire rooted in dangerous psychosis of self-hatred that sees darker-skinned people inferior to white people. As journalist and author of Layers of Blackness, Colorism in the African Diaspora, Deborah Gabriel explains, and I quote, whatever its label, colorism remains a pernicious internalized form of racism, which involves prejudice, stereotyping, and perceptions of beauty among members of the same racial group, whereby light skin is more highly valued than dark skin, end quote. Moderator, the reason why skin bleaching is bad is because it promotes a negative self-image of dark-skinned people that pushes them to engage in this harmful practice. This is especially more important for the young, whose minds are far more impressionable and prone to peer pressure. What's worse, moderator, is that the consequences for young people who bleach are far worse than that of an adult. According to Dr. Diane Robinson, a dermatologist and lecturer in the Faculty of Medical Sciences, UWI Mona, she states, and I quote, Caribbean children are at higher risk because their bodies are different from an adult's. Their skin is thinner and they have more of it related to their size, end quote. Moderator, but even with all this, bleaching on a whole does not help young people fit in or become accepted by their lighter-skinned peers. In fact, the opposite is true. According to MarieClaire.com, trends and fads like skin bleaching can lead to bullying in schools. This can cause a student to lose focus on his or her schoolwork and in turn lowers their academic performance. Clearly, moderator, the benefits from bleaching your skin are just not there. And for anyone to advocate this policy would be irresponsible. In conclusion, moderator, Skin bleaching is a terrible epidemic facing countries of predominant African descent. It is rooted in self-hatred and has disastrous health consequences. Moderator, we remain resolute that skin bleaching should be prohibited in primary and secondary schools alike. I rest my case.
Thank you very much to the second speaker from the proposition, Antigua Girls High School, Lashika Hodge, completing her presentation in a time of 3 minutes, 11 seconds. Now for the second speaker from the opposition, please welcome Alicia Armstrong, Glanville's Secondary School.
Sir Moderator, esteemed judges, my worthy opponents, fellow students, viewing audiences, both present and at home, good evening. I stand here this evening in full support of my colleague to reiterate that skin bleaching by primary and secondary school students should not be prohibited. Skin bleaching can be beneficial to many persons as a beauty aid in the school environment where some students bully other students who they deem not to be beautiful. Therefore, skin bleaching can help to develop high self-esteem. This was revealed in a recently done survey at a local secondary school with a sample of 50 students. 70% stated that students bleach to enhance their appearance because of the negative remarks persons made about their complexion. 10% because they see others do it, while 20% indicated that students bleach because of peer pressure. Additionally, we are all familiar with the term, black is beautiful. And indeed, black is beautiful. However, physical enhancement and to be aesthetically pleasing is the desire of every human being. Therefore, Sir Moderator, skin bleaching should be allowed to be used by students as a beauty aid to improve uneven skin tone. If students are allowed to use bleaching creams, they may no longer be bullied due to their appearance. Additionally, a more even and refined skin tone could help to boost self-confidence. Similarly, it is common knowledge that all skin creams are to the body. It is just that some creams are more potent than others. There are also natural methods that have been available for centuries and used by many cultures and people over the ages to bleach the skin, such as dried orange peels and yogurt mixture, milk, lemon juice and honey paste, potato juice, and so many more. These natural remedies can also be used to remove blackheads, acne, blemishes, and discoloration related to hormones, which comes with puberty during the teenage years. In conclusion, Sir Moderator, I put it to you that skin bleaching is as beneficial to primary and secondary school students as chemical relaxers and perms. Skin bleaching is beneficial as long as the users do not abuse skin bleaching products or use damaging products that completely strips the skin and causes it to lose its integrity. Therefore, students should be educated about the proper use of skin bleaching. Persons should use natural methods or bleaching creams that are dermatologically tested and safe. My friends, the problem is not skin bleaching, but rather the lack of education surrounding the proper use of these products.
Thank you very much to Alicia Armstrong, the second speaker from the opposition, Glanville's Secondary School. She completed her presentation in a time of 2 minutes, 58 seconds. We will pause at this time to hear from our sponsor. The rebuttal segment comes up next. Stay tuned.
The sweetest way to pay is with Sugar Pay. Sugar Pay, Sugar Pay. At the end of the day, Sugar Pay, the savings will blow you away. Cause it's the safest way to pay. Use your card and
fill up your tank and take out your friends and shop for your food. Reload it again. Nails and hair, clothes for you for wear. No worries, our face, Sugar Pay is here.
You can use your card anywhere. Sugar Pay. It's accepted everywhere.
Welcome back. This is the third encounter in the first round of the 2018 Intersecondary School Debate Series between Glanville's Secondary School and Antigua Girls High School. The rebuttal segment is about to begin. In this round, a maximum 20 points can be awarded to any team. We'll begin with the opposing team's Danique De Freitas, Glanville's Secondary School. Danique will be given 3 minutes to complete her presentation.
Skin bleaching is not as damaging to the skin as my opponents would have us believe. It can be beneficial since it enhances the appearance of one's skin. As with any treatment, it merely needs to be used with moderation and care, or naturally for those of us who are against the strong chemicals. Our opponents presented the case that most people bleach their skin not for medical benefit, but out of peer pressure. So many students, both male and female, are bullied and called names for their dark complexion. So in an effort to halt the verbal abuse, what other option do they have? With the use of skin bleaching agents that are more dermatologically safe, the negative effects of skin bleaching can be avoided. A good amount of the time is an option of preparation and research. From our earliest days, we've been given the conception that lighter-skinned people were considered gods. In an effort to be more like the people of the higher social status, students seem to wish to change their appearance. All students want to be the best in their form in class. But the example that has been set for them are those of lighter-skinned people. So in an effort to be the best, they feel that they must change the way they look. It is not always a matter of It is not always a matter of what may or may not be correct. Sometimes it is a matter of what the student believes is correct and what they have been taught at home and at school by those responsible for them. If their parents and guardians have given them permission to do so, if our Constitution gives them every permission to do so, then why shouldn't they be given the option if they feel it is correct? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Danique De Freitas, Glanville's Secondary School, starting the rebuttal segment of the competition. She completed her rebuttal in a time of 2 minutes, 40 seconds. To end the rebuttals, please welcome Francesca Etanoff, Antigua Girls High School.
All protocols previously established, my colleague and I remain resolute that skin bleaching by primary and secondary schools should be prohibited. My opponent stated that skin bleaching is a freedom of choice. However, rules and regulations are put in place to protect our children. For example, the age of consent is there to protect our bodies from sexual predators. So, the law protects the children from skin bleaching products. Moreover, our opponent stated that these bleaching creams are used for medicinal purposes, such as acne, etc. However, the cream was not prescribed to bleach. It was prescribed to treat the condition for a short period of time. In addition, My opponent stated that they are natural ingredients, such as orange peel and other medicine that could be used. Then remind me again, why are you contradicting that skin bleaching products should be banned, when you clearly stated that safer, less toxic alternatives could be used? For example, utilizing fruits and vegetables and drinking enough water. It also, moderator, one of my colleagues has eczema, and I have known her for 4 years since I am attending the Antigua Girls High School. She is still the same color and still active in school because she uses other alternatives than bleaching creams. Moderator, my opponent stated that self-esteem was an issue. Happiness, peace of mind, and self-esteem does not come in a bleaching cream. Moderator, worthy opponents, ponder upon this. How can you buy happiness? It comes from within. Be happy with your skin. My opponents also mentioned that chemical relaxers and perms are good. Yes, you can get the look that you want, but over time, they break your hair. Skin bleaching over time causes detrimental results internally and externally. Moderator, we are not convinced. We remain resolute that skin bleaching by primary and secondary school students should be prohibited. I thank you.
Thank you very much to Francesca Etenov, ending the rebuttal segment of the competition this evening. Francesca completed her rebuttal in a time of 2 minutes, 54 seconds. This brings us to the end of the third encounter in the first round of the 2018 Intersecondary School Debate Series. Please show your appreciation to both teams for their presentations. Do stay with us. The judges will announce their decision, but first, a word from our sponsor, Sugar Pay.
The sweetest way to pay is with Sugar Pay. Sugar Pay, Sugar Pay. At the end of the day, Sugar Pay, the savings will blow you away. Cause it's the safest way to pay. Use your card and
fill up your tank and take out your friends and shop for your food. Reload it again. Nails and hair, clothes for you for wear. No worries, our fair Sugar Pay is here.
You can use your card anywhere. Sugar Pay. It's accepted everywhere. We have the cheapest rates. You'll feel safe. You can be a merchant in the easiest way. So contact us and sign up today with Sugar Pay.
Thank you so much for staying with us. Glanville Secondary School and Antigua Girls High School met in this encounter. The judges have agreed on a winner. To produce their findings and to make the announcement of the winning school, please welcome Mr. George Imhoff.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Well, it was a debate. I wish to congratulate both teams on behalf of the judges for a job well done. Congratulations to Glanville Secondary and Antigua Girls High School. We thought both teams made a serious effort to debate a very topical issue in our school system and perhaps in the Caribbean. please remember that it is not necessarily what you believe, but how well you're able to convince the judges that your opponents have it wrong and you have it right. We thought that the debate was well laid out by both teams. The enthusiasm was there, sometimes perhaps a bit too much. We also thought that references were generally good and supporting evidence present. Visual contact was generally made, but we wish to point out as a very good example the first speaker of the proposition, Ms. Etinoff, and we wish to say that her dealing with the entire debate was good. In fact, her very first approach was attention-grabbing and very good. And her ability to deliver that quotation and looking straight into the audience without any help from her script was very, very encouraging. The rebuttal we thought was good, save and except that the opposition did not go against the points that were, did not debate the points that were put out by the proposition, but rather resorted to giving opinions. And perhaps that's something that you should be very wary of. All in all, we wish to say that we enjoyed your debate, and we have concluded that the better speaker for the proposition is Francesca Etinoff. Francesca, sorry, I'm giving her a footballer's name. Yes, Francesca Etinoff. Yes, you can. And the better debater for the opposition was Denique de Freitas. The overall debater, then Francesca Etinoff. And so we come to the final scores. We found the proposition with a score of 66 points and the proposition with a score of 77.5 points. Congratulations to the Antigua Girls High School.
Thank you very much, Mr. Imhoff. Congratulations to Team Antigua Girls High School. Now for closing remarks from both teams. First, Glanville's Secondary School, please welcome Alicia Armstrong.
Well-known author and leadership guru John Maxwell wrote a book entitled Sometimes You Win, Sometimes You Learn. We, the Glanville Secondary School debate team, would like to say congratulations to our opponents for winning tonight's debate. We have certainly learned a lot from our opponents, who put up a violent fight. We thank God for giving us the ability to participate. We say thanks to Mr. Moderator, the judges, our principal, trainers, other team members, and our supporters for their hard work. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alicia. And now from the winning team, Team Antigua Girls High School, please welcome Lashika Hodge.
Once again, good evening. I would firstly like to thank the Lord for strength and wisdom to get our scripts done. I would also like to give a heartfelt thank you to the AGHS Debate Society trainers and our principal, who put in so much effort and time into getting us prepared. Special thanks goes out to Senator Gavaya and Via, our standby members, Deborah and Peter Gay, for helping us to drill us in our speeches. For our supporters, Lorian, Jashida, and others. Parents for staying back late in the afternoons, patiently waiting for us to finish our practices. Worthy opponents, thank you for giving us quite an enjoyable encounter. To the audience, thank you for taking time out to witness our encounter. Judges, thank you as well for taking the time to listen and analyze our debate. And finally, special thanks to EBU for hosting us this evening and Sugar Pay for being our sponsors.
Thank you very much, Lashika Hodge. We appreciate you joining us this evening. That's all the time we have. Be sure to join us next week as we continue the 2018 Intersecondary School Debate Series made possible by Sugar Pay. Goodbye for now.
Don't miss the 2018 edition of the Intersecondary School Debating Competition sponsored by Sugar Pay.
So listen, as students across Antigua and Barbuda debate the many issues affecting us.
Be it education, health, culture, the economy, or the environment, we will dissect it for you.
So join us on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. on ABS TV or on Saturday mornings for the rebroadcast.
The 2018 Intersecondary School Debate, sponsored by Sugar Pay, on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Join us!
The sweetest way to pay is with Sugar Pay. Sugar Pay, Sugar Pay. At the end of the day, Sugar Pay. The savings will blow you away. Cause it's the safest way to pay. Use your card and
fill up your tank and take out your friends and shop for your food. Reload it again. Nails and hair, clothes for you for wear. No worries, our fair Sugar Pay is here.
You can use your card anywhere. Sugar Pay. It's accepted everywhere. We have the cheapest rates. You'll feel safe. You can be a merchant in the easiest way. So contact us and sign up today with Sugar Pay.
Visit us on Facebook at Ministry of Education, Science and Technology-Education Broadcasting Unit.